The Battle of Gettysburg.
Breaking news, Cornfield and Potato Field coming to you live from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Yes, Potato Field, that's right. Another battle has struck the nation right here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The date is July 5th, 1863, and one more battle has come and gone. We are here, reporting to you, our fans, about how everything truly occurred.
The Confederate General, Robert E. Lee, was coming off of a steaming victory from the Battle of Chancellorsville and wanted to continue his winning streak. He thought that if the Confederates could win yet another battle, the Union's confidence would be shot and they would recede. He also wanted the acknowledgement of the Confederacy from Britain and France and thought this battle would catch their attention. Lee had planned to fight but failed to learn of how close the Union Army was stationed to him. His cavalry chief, Jeb Stuart, was distracted and didn't follow his orders. It wasn't until another Confederate raiding party went to town for supplies that they ran into General George G. Meade's Union Army.
There were over 50,000 casualties by the end of this battle. 28,000 of the Confederate soldiers were slaughtered during this battle, and this was over a third of the South's army. 23,000 Union soldiers were executed, but it didn't make as big of an impact because they had more men to begin with.
This is the deadliest battle of the war yet. Because this battle was so large, there were over 100 generals present during the fighting in the city. It physically smelled like death when people were in the city. Can you imagine that? We can, because we were there, right in Gettysburg. Oh my gosh. As well as that, when we heard about this, Lincoln was walking across the middle of the field, either side, the Confederates and the Union. For his Gettysburg address, Lincoln was walking, and instead of it being like rainy water smush, it was blood from all the people that died at the Battle of Gettysburg.
That's right, Potato Field. Man, this is really shaking the town of Gettysburg up. Many of the houses have been turned into medical facilities because so many soldiers have been wounded.
After Stonewall Jackson died at Chancellorsville, Lee put an army in the trusted hands of Richard E. Well. Wow, that was a lot of information to comprehend. How about we go to a commercial break?
Use railroad tracks. Railroads were manufactured in the U.S. in the 1850s for important usages, such as to transport goods for weaponry and medical supplies for the South. This was in the Civil War in the 1800s,
and the South was heavily dependent on railroads,
as well as the North. Use a railroad near you. Use it today.
On the first day of onslaught, 50,000 soldiers went into battle. Out of them, 15,500 were put to death. This single day alone was one of the largest fatalities in the entire Civil War. General Lee commanded Ewell to attack, but Ewell had doubts and hesitated briefly. Although short, this hesitation gave the Union time to create an outstanding defensive position. Another general named James Longstreet believed it was useless to attack the Union, seeing their position was so strong. He suggested that their troops move east to create a strong defense position of their own, but Lee had other plans. He chose a camp that was very close to the Union's camp to get ready for the next day of combat. Potato Field, I can't believe what I'm saying right now. Lee won't listen to anybody.
5, 6, 7. You've got that right, Cornfield. The second day of battle was full of blood and gore. Lee predicted that if his troops could win over Little Round Top, they could win the whole battle. Both sides fought vigorously throughout the entire day. The Union succeeded in pushing the Confederates out of Little Round Top. After this, the Confederates attacked Cemetery Hill and Culp's Hill. Where the Union Army was stationed, the Union held strong in both places, and the Confederates had no choice but to back down. By this day, the Confederate Army was beginning to. I agree completely, Cornfield. If only this issue could be settled in a less tragic manner.
Shouldn't even be an issue.
Exactly. We are all equal. In Gettysburg, thousands of people are dead, and it is extremely disturbing and heart-wrenching that it has come to this.
It truly is. Now, we will tell you how the third and final day of the battle proceeded. General Longstreet still believed that the Confederates were going to lose the battle and wanted to recede before more men were killed. On the other hand, Lee was certain that the Union was on the brink of shattering and thought that one more day of fighting would do the trick. He made a plan to attack the middle of the Union line on Cemetery Ridge. He knew the Union would never be expecting that, and sure enough, he was correct. Only 5,750 troops were told to defend the spot where the Confederates attacked. The two armies fired cannons at each other for a while, but the Union withdrew from the fight. The Confederates were boastful, thinking that they had seriously damaged the Union supplies and weaponry. Little did they know they had hardly made a dent.
The battle finally ended after Pickett's charge, which began at 1 o'clock a.m. on July 3rd. 15,000 Confederate men marched up to Cemetery Ridge to engage in combat with 6,500 Federalists. This battle was Lee's final invasion of the North. One of the most abused parts about Pickett's charge was that the North tricked the South into charging, which gave the North a significant advantage. Don't you think, Cornfield?
I do, all right. So would you agree that Pickett's charge was a turning point in the war?
Oh, absolutely. This ended terribly for the Confederacy when the Union won.
We can only hope that generations to come realize what this war has done for our country. It has damaged people's lives physically and mentally, but the fighting was worth the outcome. Hopefully, people will understand in the future that the battle was necessary to show people that you should fight for what you believe in, even though it wasn't ideal that so many deaths occurred.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. That concludes our newscast on this battle. Until next time.
Quick review. The Battle of Gettysburg occurred July 1st to July 3rd. It was the deadliest battle of the war yet. Thanks for tuning in. Potato Field and Cornfield signing off.